A lot of times it's nice to have tubing benders or other tools. If you're like me, you're gonna save yourself $1,500 and get the manual version just because you can, and you'll tell yourself that later in life you'll get the hydraulic attachments to make it hydraulic. So when you do that, you need to have your tools mounted to the floor. And now all of a sudden, you've painted yourself into a corner because that tool is gonna take up space, and floor space is like the most valuable thing in your shop. Not only is it gonna take up space, but you gotta think, however close you put it to a wall, that is the longest stick out you can have through the tubing bender. And then you ask yourself, what is the biggest piece you're gonna put through the tubing bender? Well, maybe I'm gonna do this and that. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could move it? Here I've made a little portable shop setup that is gonna make these tools that are supposed to be bolted to the floor permanently movable. And I think this system could be replicated in any other shop for guys looking to make a little organization system while they still want their floor space. We have my JD Squared Model 32 manual edition. And I also have just, I think this one's a Kaka Industrial large hoop roller. Both of these you're supposed to bolt to the floor. I made this 2x2 frame with a stand, and it bolts right into my floor drain, which I guess is another thing I should talk about. This floor drain is kind of a trick. When we poured this pad, that's a piece of 4-inch C-channel. If you can imagine that, it's cupped up like that, and it's got a piece of 3-inch C-channel inside of it. So there's a piece that's this way. Now that's poured right into the concrete. The 3-inch piece is just kind of bolted into the floor, so we can remove that if we ever need to clean out the drain. And then right in the middle, there's a 12-inch sonotube that's underneath of that, and there's holes cut through it, and so that's the floor drain. Water does come through here. You never have a backup where water like piles up around this. It all goes through the crack on the other side. I think on the upper 3-inch C-channel, I cut little V's in the bottom of it just to let the water come underneath. And this is a really good trick for a floor drain because whenever you're rolling on the floor, there's no grate. You're not gonna lose parts, bolts, and washers into the grate. You're not gonna get your hair or body parts cut up on the grate, and you can roll the creeper or floor jack straight across it. The piece of C-channel that's poured into the concrete, it has, I think they're like 8-inch stubs of rebar that are welded to the sides of that 4-inch C-channel every 12 inches. And then those stubs that are welded on, they're just tied into the normal rebar, so it's poured into the grid and everything's happy. Anyways, that's the floor drain, and I guess that's a bonus trick for your shop. If you're building a new shop, definitely put a floor drain like that in. Anyways, now we got this, and since I have this nice floor drain that's steel and it's poured into the concrete, I can bolt stuff to it. So I have this 2x2 square frame here, and I think it's just 24 inches on center is what I did. I have these big bolts, and they, if I lift this up, roll it around, line up with these holes that conveniently have nuts welded on the backside. So if you can imagine, you take your tool, just like this, you grab onto it, it's got 2 caster wheels in the back, you can just roll it, line it up, and then I use my wrench, and I can just tighten these bolts right down, and use my tool however I like. I have a set of holes right there, and since it's a 2-car garage, I also have a set of holes underneath that truck over there. So I can run 2 tools at once. You can flip the tool 180 degrees if you need more room for long pipes sticking out. And when you're done with them, you can just roll them away and tuck them away so they don't take up your floor space. It's not a totally perfect idea because the threads in the nuts in the floor get clogged up with dirt and stuff. So I do have to periodically run a tap through the hole. Eventually the nut's gonna get junk, so I'll have to cut it off and weld a new one on. But I really appreciate this organization system, and I do think it's something that you should consider if you're looking to organize tools that need to be bolted to the floor. Let me know what you have to say in the comments. Tell me what you do for organizing tools or placing tools that require a permanent fixture on a concrete floor.